Superman fled! I don't believe you! I win. I always win. Is there no one on this planet to even challenge me? Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on X at Movies TV Mad and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad X. A very warm welcome to Thursday's edition of the DC Universe Daily. Yes, just a couple of Superman movie quotes for you there. The reason I was quoting Perry White from Superman 2, Superman fled, I don't believe you, is because James Gunn's given us a slight spoiler about what happens in Superman. He's been talking about shooting Fortress of Solitude sequences in Norway. We will get there, and I just added the other Zod one because I love it. Anyway, this is Thursday's edition of the DC Universe Daily, and we have some headlines because back in the day, when Chris Von Svensson was doing his daily ping pong flick show, what happened to Chris? I don't get any notifications on YouTube for him anymore. Anyway, right? Yeah, he used to do, like, in the days we were fighting for the Snyder Cut and all that, he would do daily videos giving us headlines and stuff. So I thought, that's a good idea. So back in July 2018, I launched this channel and I launched the DCEU Daily. Of course, I changed the name to the DC Universe Daily because we're at DC Universe now. We're no longer in the DCEU. Maybe, now and again, a couple of times a week, I'll do a DCEU. Kind of a DCEU special, if you like. We've done that. We did Batman versus Superman yesterday as well. But anyway, the reason I'm excited that I've actually got some headlines from DC Universe today, because that was the whole point. That's why I started off this channel. So thank you, Chris Von Svensson, for, inspiring me to do it. And I'm a little bit sad that you don't talk about DC on a daily basis anymore, because you're the reason I'm here. Anyway, here are your DC headlines today. Elizabeth Debicki will not be playing Wonder Woman, according to James Gunn. Now, Elizabeth has been rumoured to be replacing Gal Gadot as James Gunn's DCU Wonder Woman. He says no, and he says the publication that is claiming this make up a lot of lies. So I'm going to take James's word for it. After all, he's the head honcho. He's the one making these decisions. The problem is here, James, and this is the huge issue here. Until you attach Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman to a project in DCU, your denials are going to fall on my deaf ears. Because the longer you don't attach her to a project, it's a problem. Now, Gal Gadot is a great Wonder Woman, but the truth of the matter is she was mainly a great Wonder Woman when she was being directed by Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder directed her a lot, you may not know this, in Wonder Woman 2017, Batman vs Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League. When he wasn't directing her in Shazam! Fury of the Gods in that cameo, and in the Flash movie, she came across really, really cringy over Smiley. That costume was far too bright. None of that worked for me. She is Zack Snyder's Wonder Woman. And I'm not doing that to be, saying, oh, my director and all that shit. I genuinely believe she wouldn't fit in to James Gunn's universe. And if she does, and she remains, and he manages to make her a successful part of his new universe, that would be great. Also, and not that I would wish any actor, female, male, whatever, right, out of a job. But Henry Cavill's not Superman. Ben Affleck's not Batman, right? All these actors are not playing their parts in the DCEU. Why does Gal Gadot get to keep her job? I'm not saying I don't want her to remain as Wonder Woman. But the truth of the matter is, right now, we don't know what's going on with Gal and Wonder Woman. He's kind of said she's still Wonder Woman, but he hasn't attached her to any projects. David Zaslav promised us that Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman would be front and centre. I will finish off today's main show talking about Brave and the Bold. And some rumours from my sources I've been getting, something I've been suspecting for a long time as well. And so Elizabeth Debicki will not be playing Wonder Woman. James Gunn confirms that. Look, if you see a picture of Elizabeth Debicki, great girl, great actor, but she isn't Wonder Woman. First of all, she's blonde. A blonde Wonder Woman? No. She'd have to wear a wig. Look, I don't want to do a Daniel Craig James Bond thing because I never cared that he was blonde, by the way. But even when you look at her facial features, she just doesn't look like Wonder Woman. And Gal does. Gal absolutely looks like Wonder Woman. But Wonder Woman must be what? In her 30s now, right? Not Wonder Woman, Gal. Gal must be what, 35? 35, between 35 and 40? Is that a fair assessment of her age? Nothing wrong. She's not too old to play Wonder Woman. Of course she's not. But for me, I just feel you need to recast that role. It's a new universe. It pretty much is a reboot. Start again. Leave Gal Gadot in the past like you're doing with Henry Cavill, with Ben Affleck. There's somebody else's casting. Ultimately, I don't think James Gunn wants Gal Gadot to play Wonder Woman. But there is a problem with New Hollywood. We, as an audience and consumer, don't trust them. For reasons like this, James Gunn is very upfront with the fans about a lot of things. I mean, he's been shooting in Norway, he's back in America, he's left David and, everyone else is still in Norway finishing up there, but he's come back to America. As soon as he's confirmed what he's been doing over there, which is we're going to get into that shooting a Fortress of Solitude, a sequence for the Fortress of Solitude. Very exciting. I'll get into what he said there. So he's very, very transparent with the fans, which I've always loved about him. I mean, years ago I was shocked that he responded when I commented on his Instagram story. I thought, directors don't do this. I mean, Zack Snyder, I think, responded to me once on Vera. But yeah, it's very rare for people of that level to talk to the grunts, the ordinary people, right? But anyway, he hasn't been very forthcoming about the Wonder Woman situation. And that's sometimes when people say to me, are you excited about DCU? Yeah. Do you think Superman will be a great film? I don't know. I hope it is. I'm looking forward to it. I'm loving the hype and all of that. Do you trust James Gunn? Sometimes I trust him, sometimes I don't. He lied about the quality of the Flash movie. If you're a fan who went to see the Flash movie last year because James Gunn said it was one of the best films in this genre and you hated it, are you going to trust him? Are you going to go and watch Superman after he let you down there? That's the problem. There's a trust issue right now in Hollywood, and this is the problem. And until he hasn't clarified, Gal's future or non-future in DCU. As I say, he's kind of said, well, yeah, she's still Wonder Woman. Then Gal came out and said she's had discussions with James and Peter, and they're looking to make a movie. Then Variety or THR, whatever, or both said that's not true. So what's going on there? It's like WB told, these publications to kind of say that's not true. So what's going on there, right? They clearly didn't want the public to know that they've had discussions with her. They know. James Gunn's a planner. He knows what he's going to do. I think there's disagreement within the studio whether Gal should stay or go. And I think that's the real situation here. Anyway, James Gunn was asked about San Diego Comic-Con of this year. I didn't need to ask James this question. I've always known that James Gunn is no way, it's not possible for him to attend this year's San Diego Comic-Con. And it does make me laugh how much people put onto Comic-Con. To me, Comic-Con isn't that important to me. I don't need reveals at Comic-Con. Now, someone asked him, will you be revealing stuff at San Diego Comic-Con, this year, a few weeks ago, and he goes, what, that's the only way I can, give you news via Comic-Con. So, could we be getting another DC fandom after these years? I think something's going on, and as David Zaslav said at that financial call, James and Peter will be making announcements about this 10-year plan of DC Universe. So watch this space for that. But yes, James Gunn confirmed he will not attend this year's San Diego Comic-Con. I don't even care about San Diego Comic-Con because that's something that was relevant back in the day. It's Comic-Con, since the pandemic, since, DC fandom and all of that, Comic-Con has become, to me personally, and to a lot of people, by the way, a little bit irrelevant. Past few years, not everyone is attending and they're just doing their own things now. And I think that's okay. Look, listen, I used to love San Diego Comic-Con. I remember when the Smallville cast used to go there, and the Doctor Who cast and all of that, or whoever. Heroes, when we used to have great TV shows back in the day, right? It was exciting. But I think that's old hat now. Anyway, moving on. James Gunn is back in the United States after shooting in Norway with David Corenswet for exterior sequences of the Fortress of Solitude. He actually very kindly, magnanimously gave a Norwegian publication an interview, and it's all in Norwegian. Of course it would be. I think this is good because he understands the importance of the global audience. He knows that although America is one of the biggest countries in the world, and a majority of the box office will come there, we have a cinema is a global business, and English cinema has an international language. And he needs to ingratiate himself. He could have gone there, done his bit, and not spoken to them. This is very good. Anyway, he says that there's a part of the film when Superman flees to the fortress. This is why I did the whole Superman fled, I don't believe you from Superman 2. So that's interesting. Why does he flee to the fortress? And is it kind of an Easter egg of Superman 2? What's going on? Why does he flee to the fortress? That's interesting. Superman fleeing to the fortress. Is that very Superman-y? I don't know because I don't know the context of the film. But it's interesting that he let that slip. This is what he said in the interview. He said they looked at a lot of locations, but this one was beautiful. There was water there. You can see the rainbow. Look, I've seen pictures of it, and I'm sure you have as well by now, and it looks stunning. So that's very, very exciting. Superman flees to the Fortress of Solitude. And I mean, we can all have our little theories. Why? So this is a very exciting headline. Nicholas Hoult was a Michael Rosenbaum. Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, Inside of You. Michael Rosenbaum played the greatest version of Lex Luthor ever, the greatest iteration on the television show Smallville. From Series 1 to the Series 7 finale, he was outstanding. His Lex probably had a better arc than Clark himself, and Clark's arc was brilliant in Smallville as well. One of my favourite interpretations of Superman. We were speaking about that on a DC Universe Daily the other day, wasn't we? But anyway, Nicholas Hoult said to him, he was interviewing Nicholas Hoult on the Inside of You podcast, and Nicholas Hoult admitted that Smallville was the first adaptation of Superman he ever saw. Then later on watched the Donna movie and the Christopher Reeve movies, Man of Steel, etc., etc., etc. But he said, Michael's Lex is the best Lex. Now, Michael Rosenbaum, it's not really a secret, is really good friends with James Gunn. And I think this is part of the PR. This is a PR exercise for the Superman movie. Nothing wrong with that. So the interview was great. They didn't really speak that much about the movie, but Nick did admit that his Lex is slightly based on the all-star Superman Lex. Now, in their graphic novel, we know that Superman's dying. We know Clark Kent interviews Lex Luthor as a journalist in prison. So check out that comic book because it's a fascinating interview, or check out the animated movie. It's brilliant. I really hope that Clark interviews Lex Luthor in the Superman movie. That would be awesome. And he also said because Lex is a bit more muscular in that film, he's been working out. Now, I love Nick Hoult. He's a great actor. He's a fellow Brit as well. Personally, if you want a more muscular Lex or a bigger Lex, I've always wanted an actor to be a bit more rounded, like the animated series, like in the comic books. A Vincent D'Onofrio, a Kingpin type of look for Lex. And I wanted Vince to play Lex Luthor in James Gunn's DC Universe. It's not that I don't like the Nicholas Hoult casting. I love it. I think it's great. But I've always dreamt of that kind of actor like, Vincent D'Onofrio playing that role. And what a shame we didn't get that, considering that this version of Lex apparently is going to be muscular. Now, when we saw him as part of that selfie after the table read, he didn't look that muscular. It looks like it's a work in progress. So we'll have to see how muscular Nicholas Hoult gets in this. But it's a great interview. The Inside of You podcast with Michael Rosenbaum interviewing Nicholas Hoult, and it was great to see. Now, Sean Gunn, as I told you, lots of headlines. Sean Gunn has been talking about Creature Commandos, but especially Maxwell Lord. He has assured fans that this is not a jokey version of Maxwell Lord. He will be a very serious, grounded character, and he will be playing that character properly. Because Maxwell Lord is a complicated character. He is a villain. He does questionable things. He's not the same as, he is not the same as Lex Luthor, for example. He has been a villain, but he's also sometimes led the Justice League as well. Now, I think there were rumours that this Maxwell Lord will be leading this version of the Justice League, which is very exciting. This is what I'm talking about, everyone. Don't do what's done before. Don't do what happened in the Reeves verse. That's been done. Watch it on physical, digital media, whatever you want. It's there. You can watch it. Do something new. We've never seen, Maxwell Lord leading the Justice League. It's in the comics, of course, but we've never seen it in live action. I think this is interesting because, as I say, he's a complicated character. He's been a villain. He's been an anti kind of a half villain, half good guy kind of thing. He's a complex character. And at the end of the day, Sean Gunn has clearly got this role for a majority of reasons. Like he's James Gunn's brother. I can't deny that. But, if my brother was a good actor and he could play a role and I trusted him and I was directing a movie, if I was a high-profile director, I'd give my family and friends a chance. Why wouldn't you? I don't think this is a bad thing. I actually think Sean's a very, very talented actor, and I think he will give us a great version of Maxwell Lord. So what else have we got? Yes, Alan Tudyk, who's playing Dr. Phosphorus in Creature Commandos, has obviously read James Gunn's script because they're well into production of the animated series, and he says it's the best thing he's ever read. I mean, obviously, he's going to be positive about a guy he's working with. But, Creature Commandos they're still working on that. They're about to jump to the animation. I think they've done the animatics. James Gunn was telling a fan on Fred's, but he said the animation is very, very time consuming. So there's a long way to go for that yet, but it is being released this year. I can't remember when, but we will see Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos will be the introduction to DC Universe. Again, frustrating, I don't have HBO Max. Hopefully I can see it, somehow here in Cyprus. So you lot are going to be spoiling me. Yeah, disclaimer, I won't be able to review those episodes as soon as they're out because and it's sad, I'm a content creator. I majorly talk about DC and I don't have access, and that's sad and that's a shame. And I feel bad, I feel like I'm not doing my job, but at the end of the day, what can I do? Anyway, so now I want to talk about Brave and the Bold. And I think this is very important to say. I don't think James Gunn is happy that there's a pre-existing Batman in DC, even though he's created this Elseworlds situation. I don't think there's any problems between Matt Reeves and James Gunn. I believe that James Gunn did approach, when he first joined DC and, DC Studios was created, I think he approached Matt Reeves if he would allow Robert Pattinson to become the DCU Batman. As you've noticed, they announced Brave and the Bold as part of their slate. But all we know is that Andy Muschietti is directing that movie. Now, I did predict that Andy would be removed from that project, but interestingly enough, one of his editors from the Flash movie is actually editing the Superman movie, which is exciting because he's done quite a few really good projects as well. Not just the Flash. At first I thought, oh, what, the Flash? But what else has he done? But yeah, I think he's okay. Anyway, so could it be, because that guy's editing Superman, that Andy Muschietti will keep his job as directing Brave and the Bold? I don't know. But Andres Muschietti was announced once the Flash was released as director of Brave and the Bold. That's all we've heard. We've heard rumours about certain writers being approached, but no official confirmation of a writer. James Gunn has confirmed on a multitude of occasions that there is not a script for Brave and the Bold. This is what I've been told, and this is what I've been suspecting, and keeping under my hat for a very, very long time. There will be no Brave and the Bold until the Batman 2 is released cinematically on physical and digital media. Once that's all done, then I think you're going to start hearing some things. I think after the Batman 2, Matt Reeves is done. There will not be a Batman 3. The only way you'll get a third movie is if it really performs really well. Because it's difficult for WB. I think it's a difficult position for WB because Matt Reeves created a great movie. We're getting a Penguin series on Max, which I'm very excited to see. I think Matt Reeves is very talented. But I don't think James wants two Batmen. I just don't. And I think after Joker Folie à Deux, I don't see that any more of that being made, which is a shame because there is a universe, right? But I think in terms of Elseworlds, they have to be things that James and Peter greenlight. James and Peter never greenlit the Batman, Matt Reeves universe. You know, James and Peter never greenlit, you know, Joker and Todd Phillips. Now, you know, I'm very excited for Joker Folie à Deux because Todd Phillips is a genius. But I think there will be a DC Elseworlds going forward, but it'll be stuff that Peter and James want to be there. And there's also another elephant in the room, and there's the Ta-Nehisi Coates Elseworld, Black Clark Kent, Black Superman, that's been in active development for over 4 years. We've discussed this on many, many occasions. So I don't believe there's going to be a Matt Reeves The Batman 3. I also don't believe we'll ever get the Arkham show from Matt Reeves The Batman universe. That's me guessing. I think after the Batman 2, that's it. We're done, then you'll get some announcements. Now, I personally am a little bit suspicious why we're hearing nothing about Brave and the Bold. I mean, I think there could still be discussions between James and Matt about Batman and about Robert Pattinson. It's interesting because what's going on with the Batman 2? Well, when any of the actors are asked, they're asked and they said they haven't seen the script. They haven't seen Matt's script. Now, Matt is a notoriously slow writer and a slow developer of a project. He's a perfectionist. That's a great thing for a writer-director to be. But the longer it takes, the more chance, first of all, the movie being delayed, the movie's release being delayed, to 2026. Because even when he finishes the script, you need pre-production, and that takes a while as well. So you get maybe you get 1 or 2 months pre-production. Then we've got this threat of these crew unions going on strike. This crew union going on strike. If the crew union goes on strike, everything stops, including Superman, Fantastic Four. Disney and WB can't afford that delay. Hopefully, they pay these people what they're worth, what they deserve. Because without your crew are your most vital component when you're making TV or film. Respect them, pay them the money. It's disgusting. Anyway, so yeah, I'm a bit dubious about the future of Matt Reeves' Batman, The Batman cinematic universe. There's even a part of me that thinks that maybe, will we ever even see The Batman 2? Now that's me being extra paranoid, and probably I'm absolutely wrong there. But certainly I don't think you will hear anything about The Brave and the Bold until The Batman 2 is done. Because I think James understands you can't have two Batmen. You can't have two Batmen. You can't have two Supermen. Now, a lot of people complained about Superman and Lois being cancelled after Series 4. And someone, the CW president saying it's because they don't want a competing Superman franchise. When I first heard that, I was all, but I think they're right. You don't want two Supermen. You don't want two Batmen. It is confusing. Not to you, not to me, but to the most important thing. The general audience are the most important people if you actually want to make money. It's show business. It's a film industry. They need to make money. They need to make a great Superman film and a great DC universe, of course they do. And great products and great art and great films and TV, of course. But they need to make money. If they don't make money, they can't keep on making stuff for us. Do you understand that? So we have to understand that as an audience. So I think and I said this many months ago when James Gunn came onto DC and, they formed DC Studios. I said it's ridiculous. You can't have two Batmen. and you can't have two Supermen. I don't think that Black Superman movie sees the light of day. Why? The reason it's, in active development, because WB is still negotiating with J.J. Abrams how much they're going to pay him off. That's it. Because that film can never happen. It would be an absolute catastrophe. Now, if that film does happen, the Superman one, it won't happen. The Superman Legacy is released cinematically, released on physical and digital media. Then they may announce it. But I just don't think a film that's been in active development for over 4 years, ever gets made. And I think after the Batman 2, Matt Reeves will be done. Now, James Gunn did say some interesting things. He did say, I think, that he would be, he would have like a production credit or an advisory credit on Brave and the Bold. James Gunn said something which was very, very interesting. So someone said why, and and on Fred, someone, a fan said why is he involved? He goes, because we like Matt and we trust him, blah blah blah. So clearly there's been some kind of agreement, and that's probably part of his parting deal. So as I say, I don't think we hear anything else about Brave and the Bold until the Batman 2 is done. And I think after the Batman 2, it's all done. There'll be there'll be Matt Reeves' Batman stands going mad at me. It's just an opinion. It's just a theory based off a couple of sources. Very, very good sources, by the way. But, for example, if the Batman 2 performed like, I suppose, near the 2 billion range, which is unlikely, then they'd think about it. But what's important for them, and what's important for James Gunn and Peter Safran, is to have a universe that everything is in the same house, right? Rather than things being scattered about. One thing James Gunn spoke about when he first came in and when he announced his slate is that DC had been scattered about in different directions for years. That's why Arrowverse is done. He didn't want that. That's why Superman and Lois is going to be done. He doesn't want that. TV must fall into the DCU. Film must fall into the DCU. Gaming must fall into the DCU. And anything else, they're just waiting for it to be done. So the Batman 2 will be the last of the Matt Reeves, the Batman universe, I think. And I think good box office, unless it's extraordinary, isn't going to change their minds. And I think it's the same with Joker Folly and Doom. And I get that. When, you come in and you're taking over something, and let's be honest, something that's really, really messy, we know the drama behind the Snyderverse. We know what happened after Snyder left, and it wasn't successful. James Gunn has been brought in as a co-CEO of DC Studios, as Peter Safran has been. Peter Safran knows himself. He's been around DC for quite a while now. He's produced a lot of DC movies, some that were successful in the DCEU, mostly ones that wasn't successful, right? But, so he knows himself that DC at WB has been problematic. The thing is, there's lots of great DC things in the history. Just because it's all been scattered, it doesn't mean DC content was shit. We had a Teen Titans show. We had a Young Justice animated series. We had Justice League Unlimited. They were all great things, Superman the movie is one of the greatest achievements in film history. Superman 2 solid. Superman 3 is okay. Superman Returns is solid as well. I love Man of Steel. I love BVS. I love the Snyder Cut. I love Joker. I love Tim Burton's Batman 89 and Batman Returns. I don't even mind Batman Forever. And Batman and Robin is a good laugh to watch. And the 66 Batman movie and Batman series beyond that was beautiful too. There's a lot of great things to be proud of in DC. Don't ever let anyone tell you we haven't got a good history. We may have never had like the biggest IP in history like the MCU. But we can be more proud than Marvel fans because we've got great artistic works to look back to. So it's not always about box office, but DC has been around for a long time and it's done a better job at the live action than Marvel will ever do. And that's a fact. It's like a series like The Incredible Hulk by Kenneth Johnson starring Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. To me, that's DC level. I said that the other day. But anyway, we've got a lot to be proud of in the history of DC live action. And now James Gunn has to sort this out. So yeah, I think after the Batman 2, Matt Reeves is done with his Batman. I genuinely believe that. I just don't see it. And I think the only way that that continues if his Batman, Robert Pattinson, becomes the DCU Batman. And I still believe it's all up for grabs.